Hormozi has been misleading you completely at that. If you think that starting a Skool community as an extra step funnel to nurture your prospects, or if you're an agency coaching consultant and you're going the low ticket route to just completely make all of your income, it's a horrible way to start off. It's a horrible way to add an extra step funnel to that. And ultimately, it will kill your focus, which will ultimately kill your business and completely destroy your higher ticket program because you're going to be focusing on too much. Now, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why it's bad and give you a solution that I like to call Lord of the Rings, which shows you a better way on how you can structure your Skool community. Now, it's not about do I start a Skool community? It's about when do I start a Skool community? And I think that's what a lot of people are getting wrong right now, currently inside of the space. And they don't actually know a proper strategic way to build a Skool community. I'm going to choose my words with extreme precision, and I want you to understand that one of my clients that came into my business not too long ago named Jesse, he was about to start a Skool community, and he actually joined my program. And he said that the information and the value that I gave him, he has never ever even heard before, came across before, and he spent over $15,000 on mentorships. And he went to some of the big guys with mentors, right? He's a fitness coach, and he went to some of the big guys, right? And you have to understand, a lot of the big guys' methods are completely outdated. They don't stay up to learning and actually adapting to the current shifts and new strategies that are coming out. And he said that what I was charging for my services wasn't even worth it because I acted and valued it so much. It stunned me that, you know, people aren't really talking about this, and people are telling people to introduce Skool communities as a funnel, etc., etc., and it's just not the way to go. So I want you to listen very, very closely, because this is what he said after our call. So this information is very, very valuable. Now let's get into this real quick. Now, one of the very first things on why Skool actually sucks for you to start off or for a funnel is because it completely and utterly destroys your focus, right? It completely kills your focus inside of your business. Why? Because now you're going to have two different fulfillment systems, which is your higher ticket program, right? Higher ticket coaching, and it's going to be, or your agency, whatever it is, and it's going to be another fulfillment system, which is your Skool community, right? And this is completely a problem because now you have to derive half your focus in fulfilling for the people inside of your Skool community. So what does that consist of, you say? So in order to actually fulfill inside of your Skool community, you're going to have to find out, research, and pick which course modules, right, are actually well respected, well proven to get people results, because that's one of the very first things and one of the main things that you want to do in your Skool community. You want to get people results so they can trust you more to ascend to your higher ticket community. So you're gonna have to find course modules, and if you don't have none in your higher ticket coaching program that are good, then you're gonna have to create some. And if you have to create some, that's gonna kill a lot of your time and consider it a devious task. I'll compare that to a task that's similar to you reaching out in the DMs and trying to outreach to people completely cold. On top of that, you're gonna have to build culture and community. And what I mean by this is that this is a double whammy, right? What I mean by this is that you're gonna have to do admin tasks when it comes to building culture and community, right? You're gonna have to reply to questions, right, inside of the community. You're gonna have to do challenges, do posts to keep people engaged, which means it's gonna kill a lot of your brain energy that you should be doing to focus on your higher ticket community, right? It's gonna kill a lot of brain energy that you need to be doing in your higher ticket community. Why? Because your higher ticket community are people that paid you $2,000 plus, even $1,000 plus, whatever it is. These are guys that are way more motivated than the people that join your $50 to $30 Skool community, right? So you have to focus on two different things. In your higher ticket community, you're gonna have to focus on fulfillment, right? Fulfilling for your clients, whatever that is in your industry, whatever you're doing. Improving your systems. So improving your systems, right? Refining your systems, your sales processes, looking at it from the outside in, tracking. You have to track, right, yourself and track your clients' results in the beginning, whatever it is, right? So a bunch of tracking all over the place, and accountability. And also, going back to Skool, you also have to focus on accountability as well, right? You have to focus on accountability. So these are just a bunch of different things that you have to focus on inside of your business, just because you added a Skool community to nurture more people, right? And the reason why I say nurture is because there's better ways to nurture your prospects than actually getting bogged down doing two different types of fulfillment systems. Look at everything that you have to worry about. Now, bear with me right here. I'm going to draw a brain, right? I'm going to draw a brain, right? And now you're going to have to focus on so many things, right? So many things you're going to have to focus on. And then your brain ultimately is going to get fried, right? You have to focus on the school community. Then you have to focus on the higher ticket. And then within that, you have to focus on fulfilling for your clients, improving your systems, right? Refining the tracking, accountability for those clients. And then you have to focus on here too. Also, I'll add even another step to this, which is you have to DM, right? So it's like one of the best ways for you to actually get people to ascend to your higher ticket program is seeing their motivations. And the best way you could do that is that you got to DM people in school that are motivated, right? But it's like, how do you know how someone's motivated where the tracking systems in school are very faulty and not really a measurable, a proven way to get people to actually ascend, right? You could look at the members tab, right? You could click and see the course modules and DM from there, but you're already DMing under DMs and now you have to DM in here. And trust me, just because they pay $50 doesn't mean they're more nurtured, right? Yes, I could see your thought process by thinking that, okay, if someone paid $30 to join my community, it's easier for them to ascend because they they spent $30 to go into my community. That means that they're motivated, right? But $30 is nothing compared to your $3,000 program. That is a fraction of it. That is a fraction of the actual value that you're providing here. So people that spend $30 per month, right, to go inside your program are completely broke leads. They're broke, right? They're completely broke. They actually just want free stuff, right? And it's very hard for you to find gems, valuable people inside of this community right here, right? You're going to have to DM, you're going to have to do all that stuff, but you're already DMing over here, right? You're fulfilling for your clients. You also have to go ahead and DM, right? You have to do a bunch of different things. And it's just going to bog you down. It's going to ultimately fry your focus. I truly believe as an entrepreneur, you should be focused on higher leverage activities and higher leverage activities only, right? You don't need a bunch of different things going at once, especially minimalist tasks like admin tasks inside your community and community building, where you could get someone and hire someone to do that for you in school. But the problem is some of you don't even have the budget to hire someone like a community manager, right, to go ahead and do that. Because one, there's better hires that you need right now instead of a community manager, right? And two, you probably don't even have the money because you're making 5 to 10K per month, right? Or you're making even 30 or 40K per month. You have money, but the hires that you need to get should be something different than community managers, like setters, right? And also media buyers, maybe for your ads, et cetera, even possibly a sales team. In some cases, I'm not saying that, and an editor on top of that. So there's better ways, and that ultimately just fries your budget right then and there. You shouldn't do anything more than that at that point. And it's going to fry your budget of hiring people, and a community manager just doesn't make sense at this point, leaving you with more work, et cetera. So second thing, it takes skill to actually run a school community. You need to know things like community building, right? So you need to know how to actually structure and build a community, which is completely a skill, right? You need to know how to build culture within the community, right? You need to know how to keep people engaged by making community. It's almost like running a sales team, just a lot different and more harder because these are people that, want to obviously achieve something that's else than money, right? And you have to find out games for them, leaderboard stuff, right? Community engagement stuff, prizes, right? Challenges. And you're going to have to think about all this stuff, which requires a lot of creativity, brain power that you can be using as a CEO to do higher leverage things and activities inside of your higher ticket program that can get people to get nurtured in different ways. It doesn't require a school community, right? It's just you're the visionary as a CEO, and you need to have and maximize as much brain power as you can. And starting a school community is just not the way to go. You need to know group call structures. So if you decide to do group calls, which is a bad idea, and I'll explain why. But if you do group calls, you need to have a good structure for the group calls because you obviously want to get people motivated to continuously go on and finish the classroom so they can see results, so they can move on. And actually ascend to your higher ticket program, right? You need to do a bunch of different things. It's hard to lead a massive amount of people towards one movement. Like that takes time, that takes skill. And usually people that could actually do that started with a less group of people and then they built their way up to there, et cetera. You can't just automatically have 10 clients in your inner circle, 15 clients and think that you could automatically move a sea of people. Like it does not work that way. So these are skills that you're going to have to learn in trial and error. And there's a whole three different things that you need to trial and error and try rather than focusing on your higher ticket community and try to learn their skills there first, then start a school community, which I'm kind of tipping at what I'm going to be talking about next. But you need skill, and skill is something that You have to learn, and there's no time for you to learn right now. Why are you going to learn all this stuff when there's better ways to nurture people? So it takes skill. Now, the very third thing is that there's better ways, right? There's completely better ways for you to go ahead and nurture people inside of your community. Now, what do I mean by this? Now, inside of Skool, right, you're going to obviously try to your goal is to get people from the cold section, which is the blue section right here, onto your warm section, right? Your hot section, etc. Not warm. Warm is the yellow one. You're trying to get them to your hot section. But the problem with Skool is that there's rarely any proper tracking systems to know if someone's actually motivated, right? What I mean by that is, like, think about emails. When you do emails, you can segmentate your email list very easily amongst the people that are actually motivated and not. But how do you know people are actually motivated? Well, it depends on the top how many emails they open up for you, right? If obviously a lot of people open up one email, open up various amount of emails from you, you segment them to a motivated list that are people that are more willing to buy because they open their emails a lot, meaning that they want the value that you want to give. Boom, easy-able tracking system that shows people motivations. Skool doesn't really have any proper tracking systems besides the one where you can go ahead and go to the members tab and look at the course modules, right, et cetera, and then DM people from there. But that's not accurate. I know this because I have someone in my business where we used to run a school. He's a basketball coach, and this is what we did in our $20 school community to send them to the higher ticket, and literally no one went ahead and paid for the higher ticket that actually went through the course modules at all, because the course modules is not enough. They treat that as free content. Literally, it's completely not enough to go ahead and be a proper tracking system, right? You can go ahead and do that, but also I'd rather you do that when you have setters and have setters DM those people, right? And then get those to the higher ticket rather than you sitting there as a CEO, the visionary, the one that's supposed to move the needle, and actually sit down and do that minimalist task, wasting a bunch of your time, energy, and money when you shouldn't be doing that, right? So it's completely, utterly a faulty tracking system inside of Skool where you don't really understand how to get people from cold to hot. Also, think about it like this. One, these are broke leads, right? These are broke leads, right? And these broke leads, you give them about like freaking 500 videos. Obviously, it's extreme hyperbole, but you give them a ton of videos and you tell them to go watch it. You're like, okay, these are all the videos and I want you to go watch them, right? All these videos, you tell them to go watch it, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think they're going to do that? Most people are not going to do that. It's too much DIY. It's too much do it yourself. How are you going to hold people accountable to actually do it? Especially if you have 100 people inside of your community, 150, it gets worse by the more there is, right? Now, there's no system in place where it's like if someone didn't do their courses for 5 days in a row, you automatically send them a message. There's no system that you can integrate inside of Skool. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but there's no system where you can actually integrate an email system where automatically it sends an email to people that haven't been doing the course for or have been inactive inside of the community for 40 days, 10 days, whatever. There's no system now that would have been a crazy good system, don't you think? Sending an email out to people every time they're 5 days late into the course and they haven't watched it and they're inactive. So Skool is it's less strict, right? It gives people more freedom to not do what they need to do, right? And there's no proper tracking and accountability systems that you can easily implement in that, right? At all, right? Yes, you can go ahead and probably add a Notion and have a roadmap for people that come in, right? That's a process for another time, but that's going to take time away from you, right? Why don't you do that when you have money to hire someone to do that for you? When there's better ways to nurture people. Now, what's the better way to nurture people, you say? But hopefully that makes sense, right? So there's no way, people are just going to fucking churn. They're just going to churn, they're going to leave. There's no proper way to have accountability towards these people so they can go ahead and say, okay, I know this person is completely motivated, right? I'm going to DM them, et cetera, right? So there's better ways for you to actually go ahead and get people inside of your business. So there's this rule called the 7-11-4 rule. So it takes people 7 hours of content across 11 different touch points across 4 different platforms. It's mainly this one right here, 7 hours of content to get someone to actually trust you and want to buy from you, right? So what's the best way to get people? And this statistic is very true. So if you follow this statistic and really think about it, and obviously 7 hours of content is just roughly, you could get someone to go ahead and buy a higher ticket if it's 3 hours of content, 4 hours of content, whatever it is. But how do I get people to the 7 hour mark? Through YouTube. YouTube is the best way to get people to the 7 hour mark watching your content. Reels isn't enough. If you're not on YouTube yet as a coach, you need to hop on YouTube. YouTube are longer videos, which gets people to this 7-11-4 rule, right? So one of the best ways I like to funnel people inside the YouTube to get them to trust me a lot more, right? Rather than trying to sell them, right? Now we know nurture is the biggest thing to do, right? But a lot of people think that nurturing through school is the best way, but no. Why don't you just run a reel, make a reel about a topic, right? In that topic, you already have a YouTube video for that topic, right? And then have a CTA in that reel that sends people your YouTube video that's around 20 minutes long, right? That's around 20 minutes long. Now you're automatically directing people, your audience that's seeing this, onto your YouTube, which is what you actually want to do. Why? Because it gets people, 20 minutes is way better than 60 seconds, and it gets people to that 7-11-4 rule, right? Which is what you want. You want people on that 7-11-4 rule. That's what's going to get people to actually trust you. And this system right here, this little tiny thing of making a reel, maybe 2 reels per week, where you have a CTA to your YouTube, is going to make people trust you a lot more and actually want to buy your higher ticket program rather than starting a school, paying $100 per month for it, and having to do a bunch of extra stuff that you don't even want to do or don't need to do because you're the visionary. And I'm going to keep saying that. You're the visionary. Rather than having a simple system like this, which is proven to work, all the best of the best coaches are doing this, right? A reel that has a CTA to your YouTube, which is 20 minutes, that's going to get people more warm into that 7 hours. Why? Because after they watch your YouTube, they're going to binge watch. They're going to binge watch a bunch of your content, and then they're going to watch a 20-minute video, 10-minute video here, 5-minute video here, which is ultimately going to get people warm to want to go ahead and buy your higher ticket coaching program. Right, whatever it is, right, or your agency or your consultant, they're gonna trust you a lot more. This all right here is way better nurturing than school. Completely. This simple process right here is completely better than school. Honestly, you could get people to nurture just straight off your content. Hop on YouTube, make actual valuable videos, give your best stuff away, and keep your great extra extravagant stuff behind closed doors, right? Obviously, tell them some things to implement that's going to get them to see results outside of the social media, and that's going to get them to trust you a lot more, right? This simple process right here is going to get people to actually trust you a lot more than starting a school community completely. So just to recap, 3 reasons why school sucks. It's going to kill your focus. 2 different fulfillment systems. You attract broke leads, so it's going to be harder to convert people into your higher ticket if you're charging only $30 per month, even $50 per month. 2, it requires skill to build community, which is completely and utterly hard and it's going to take your time away from you if you're trying to do it all solo. If you already wear all your hats in your business, imagine now trying to learn skills to cater to 50 to 100 people. And then 3rd, there's better ways to nurture prospects, and school has a very faulty system to nurture prospects, so you don't have tracking of who's actually motivated, when you could just do this simple process of reel to CTA to YouTube that's going to make people want to binge watch. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Justin Rodriguez. I am the founder of Skool Solutions, and basically I help coaches build systems that brings in more qualified leads and ultimately frees up their time so they can finally gain that financial freedom that we strive to get as entrepreneurs and CEOs. Now, the very worst thing that you want to do as a coach, consultant, or agency owner, someone that came into this online space looking for a way to survive and make more money, is going from a 9 to 5, working 8 hours, to going to a business where you're working fucking 10 hours. Right? Working 6 hours, even 7 hours, right? The point of starting a business, the point of becoming a CEO is for you to have a lot more time for yourself to do the things that you love. And what's the point of becoming a CEO where you're not gaining financial freedom? Freedom is the way to ultimately focus on yourself and build the life that you want, to complete side quests and do whatever you freaking want, right? So what's the point of starting a business where you're wearing all the hats? And I completely eliminate that for coaches, and within a year or so, they're able to live the life of freedom that they've been striving for when they became entrepreneurs. Because everybody want to flash this flashy stuff and say that, this is what it takes, etc. And then, they don't really give the full scoop on what it actually takes. And it's all in systems. That's all it is, to completely automate your business. Now, I'm going to talk about a strategy called Lord of the Rings, where I talk about exactly why it's so important that you think about the question of, when do I start a school community, not do I start a school community. A lot of people think, do I start a community? Do I start this? Do I start that? No, it's when do you start it? Now, Lord of the Rings is a very simple 3-ring process, right? So the very first thing, the first ring that you see right here, right, this little tiny one right here, you want to think of building a business, especially a high ticket business, selling levels of access to yourself, right? You want to sell levels of access to yourself, right? Because it makes you more valuable. For example, before we even get to this, a lot of times people sell a $50, right, a month community, right? And they're doing group coaching calls, right? Which is a big issue, right? And they're showing their face and they're answering questions, right? I've seen tons of people and enjoying tons of community where I would join for $50 per month, and I would see the mentor that's charging $8,000 for his higher ticket, and I could just see him for $50 per month, and he answers my questions, and I talk about it in my business, and he audits me. That's all I really need. That's what a lot of people need. So when you show your face inside of these communities, right, which I don't suggest to show your face on or even do group coaching calls, I have a different solution for that, which I'll get into, but when you show your face and you show it a lot on top of that, right, what happens is that you become common. It's one of the rules in the 48 laws of power, whereas when you continuously keep showing your face a lot, you're common, and people are starting to associate you as very a common individual, which means that they get almost tired of seeing your face. They start respecting you a little less, and then your higher ticket loses value. So when you show your face, right, and you literally give people already access to you for $50 per month and you have a higher ticket, it's going to lower the value of your higher ticket program completely, right? It's going to completely lower that value, and you don't want that at all. So do not show your face. If you are doing group coaching calls in your low ticket community, please stop, right? You're completely lowering the value of your higher ticket community. You are becoming common. I don't know if you know who Adele is, right? Adele, the singer, right? She only does performances here and then, right, for like 2-3 years, goes on tour, and then she leaves for a couple months she leaves for years, actually. Well, I'm not too educated on it, but she leaves for years. She does, you could say it's for personal reasons, et cetera, whatever it is, but it's really for a marketing reason. These guys are big. Adele is big in music industry type of stuff. These guys are elite marketers. They do this because they know the art of being common. You cannot be common at all, right? You have to go away and then come back, right? Drake does this sometimes too. And he actually ruined and broke this law, right? As you can tell, Drake actually broke this law. Sorry, we're getting into it, but he broke this law so much that it bit him in the ass. He usually does music, drops an album, 2 albums, then goes ghost and comes back. This time around, he went extra. He became common so much that he got into beef with Kendrick Lamar, and he got completely roasted and fried. Right? So do not do that. Take it out. So now, one of the very first things inside of the Lord of the Rings that I like to say is you want to set levels of access to yourself. So you start off with your inner circle, right? So this is your inner circle, right? And then in your inner circle, you're going to have between 10 to 30 members, right? You're going to have between 10 to 30 members in your inner circle. Now, your inner circle is great, right? Because it's going to allow you to test out your offer, which is good. You want to be able to test out your offer to make sure that it's actually able to actually generate results. So you're able to test out your offer when you closely work with 10 to 30 people one-on-one. So the very first thing is inner circle, 10 to 30 members, one-on-one coaching, right? I didn't add that on there, but inner circle, one-on-one coaching, 10 to 30 members. This allows you to test out your offer, right? Find out what video modules work, right? It allows you to find out what video modules works, gets you trained in, and it gets you trained in teaching. Remember, teaching and teaching others is a skill, right? So if you're someone that is unable to articulate himself well, is not able to have confidence when speaking about a certain topic, right? It's very hard to understand the person, then your teachings are actually capable of having people see results. So if you can't even teach to 10 to 30 people, what's going to make you think that you're able to teach to the masses, right? To teach to 300 people inside of a community, right? So you need to find out what video modules work, and you can do this by closely testing out this in your one-on-one coaching within 10 to 30 people. Test out your offer to see if it's valid enough for you to test it out against the bigger marketplace, right? And it gets you trained in actually teaching people. And this is very, very important. You want to actually make sure that you know what you're doing and actually teaching others about your services or about your coaching, right? And you want to be able to know how to articulate yourself, right? So it gets you a lot of experience, which is the thing that you want, right? And also, it's still going to make you money because if you have between 10 to 30 members, I mean, you're making big bucks. You know, you're making great money on top of that, especially if you're charging higher ticket, right? Et cetera, et cetera. And especially if you upsell these people at the end, et cetera, which is good. So it gives you this experience that you need. And you actually want that type of experience, right? Now, the next circle. So now the next inner circle will be around 30 to 60 members, right? And now this is more of a group coaching, right? So I'm gonna put GC. It's more of a group coaching. Excuse my handwriting, but it's more of a group coaching. Now you're coaching between 30 to 60 members, right? And this one is very important. I'm gonna explain why. So you could call this kind of like your bigger circle, you could say, right? So now it's like you have a winner circle. Now you have more people inside of the business. And this allows you, right? This right here, right? Allows you to gain experience with group coaching, right? So now, obviously, since you have all these people, your group coaching has to be top tier. Now it's starting to get a little bit more impossible to actually go ahead and start to talk to everyone one-on-one because you have 30 to 60 people. So now you're going to have now you have to have great group coaching structures to get people to understand. And what do I mean by group coaching structures? Well, you have to come up with a presentation for each of your group coaching calls, right? You can't just go in there and free wing it because you have to get your audience motivated and get enough value that they don't get from outside, right? So whether that's you watch a Hormozi video and you interpret it and you rephrase it into your own words, right? And then give it to them because you know that can help them, or finding out common issues that most of your clients see, right? And then making that into a group presentation so they can learn, right? So if they usually struggle with sales and sales calls, you make a presentation about sales. You don't just pick anything out of the blue, right? And this is what helps you build a profitable and great school community that gets people to ascend into your higher ticket, right? But you need the experience of group coaching and group structure. And I'd rather you practice this with closely your 30, 60 people that are paying you tons of money, your higher premium people, right? Rather than your nurturing people in your $50 low ticket a month community. On top of that, you're able to gain experience in culture and community building. At this point, brother, you're going to have to go ahead and build community, right? You got to get people motivated, get people on the same page, get people to like you, get people to stay, right? And that's how you get people to, and that's how you upsell people to a $3,000 to $2,000 per month recurring basis. On a recurring basis, you could get to charge them, $2,000 to $3,000 per month if you're able to build enough culture and community that you want them to stay, and able to upsell that, you're going to give continuous value inside of this program. But they're only able to see that if your group coaching structures are good and if you're able to build culture and community where they actually want to stay, right? So masterminds, leaderboards, games, right? Challenges, right? Get people on a competitive edge, whatever your values and ethics are, whatever it is. So group coaching is great, and it's all this gives you experience, right? You're able to handle more people when it comes to your community because you have group coaching structures, you got more culture, community, and this ultimately gives you more experience, which is good when it comes to dropping your school community. Yes, we are going to be dropping a school community, but it's about when do you drop it, not what do you drop it. And I realize that in this moment, right here, when you're making you have 10 to 30 members, around here, you're making, let's say, between 10 to 30K per month, let's just say, right? And then right here in your group coaching structure, you're making between, let's say, 50 to 100K per month, right? You're making between 50 to 100K per month. And yes, that's possible if you're charging high ticket and getting people on a monthly recurrent basis and upselling them on multiple different programs and packages. Of course, you can get to that level, right? This is a topic for a different video. So now in this bigger one, we have around 200 members plus in our community. We're the top guy in our niche, right? We're the top G in our niche, right? The top guy, right? Everyone respects us. People know who we are, right? Et cetera, et cetera. People love us. So now once we're the top guy in our niche, right? We have over 200 plus people. We already gain all the experience and we're making roughly around 250K, I'll say, plus per month, right? So now we're making good money where we have more money to hire people. Now it's a good job. Now it's a good way to build a funnel and start a school community or another low ticket offer so you can all automatically get people and to nurture them inside your community. But now let me explain to you how you're able to do this, right? So this is how you're able to do this, right? So now since you have more money, right? You have more experience, right? So you have more experience on building group structures, et cetera, how to build community experience. At this point, you already ran sales teams. You already learned from people. You already paid the mentorship. You have more experience on all aspects of building community and all that type of stuff, right? And you have more money, right? And ultimately, you should have more time, right? Now, since you already did what you did and, you know, you already nurtured people in that other way, you know, you tapped it out, right, et cetera, you can say, now you're able to build a Skool community because you have more experience in how to build structure, community, culture. You have more money to hire people. So what I mean by that is that now you can hire community managers, right? Community managers to manage your community that you train on how to build structure and culture, right? Community managers. You could have client success managers, right? These are people that client success manager essentially are mini yous. These are people that you train to know exactly everything that you know that are kind of helping people inside of the community. Think about it as fitness coaches, right? When fitness coaches end up scaling up, like King Keto and these bigger guys, what they do is in their programs, they have personal trainers assigned to each individual person. Well, I don't know how it exactly works. It could be each individual person or a group of people. They have personal trainers assigned. So now you have client success managers inside whatever business that you have that you trained, right, to go ahead and have group calls, right? Group calls inside of your school, right? Because I don't want you to show your face because that's going to deter the value of a higher ticket. But you can have someone that's equally as good go ahead and do the group calls for you. Oh, but what if they don't know him? What if they don't respect him? Well, that's where you edify. Edifying is basically where, and this is at this point. So save this video. Guys, really take your time and go ahead and save this video, like it, right? And make sure that you save this video very tucked in, because once you hit this point, you're going to want to do this, right? You're going to want to go ahead and start once you hit the 250K plus a month point, right? And if you're in this video and you're watching this, I believe that you could get to that point because you're watching this video and you're staying all the way through the end. So how do I get a client success manager on a group call and have everyone respect them? Well, you have to edify him. What I mean by that is you as a CEO needs to drop a video inside the Skool community talking amazingly about the client success manager. So let's say the client success manager is Bob, right? His name is Bob, right? I'm going to talk about Bob so well, right? I'm going to make a video and I'm going to drop it into the community, right? And I'm going to talk about Bob extremely well. Like, guys, Bob is going to be one of the main guys running the group coaching calls. Bob is amazing. He is one of the very first people that came inside my business and I trained him from the ground up. You know, at this point, he probably even knows more than me, right? This guy is awesome. He knows everything that I know, if not at a better level, and he's able to articulate it even better. He actually won Go High Level not too long ago. He got a badge for it, etc., etc. He actually helped my business gain. I'm just gassing him up, right? I'm just hyping this dude up, making this dude seem freaking legendary, right? Making Bob seem like the man, and that's gonna raise Bob's respect, so he's able to run these group coaching calls and people are able to hop on there. This still makes your program valuable because you're not showing your face, they're not getting access for you, and people are still skeptical if Bob knows everything, right? Obviously, you will also tell Bob not to exploit everything. He will only do group coaching calls with no Q&As in there, right? You will not do any Q&As, right? It will just be group coaching calls inside of the program, right? No Q&As at all, right? It's going to be group coaching calls inside the program, very structured and strategic based on the people, etc., etc. But you don't show your face. You can even decide not to have this on there, etc., etc., and just focus on course modules. So the next thing you could do inside your business now, since you are able to start a school, is now you know which course modules actually work, right? You know which course modules are actually good to get put inside of the business. And obviously, you do not want to overwhelm people with course modules when you're at this 250K per month level. You want to drop at least maybe 1 to 3, like at least 5 to 10 videos that they can go ahead and watch and implement certain things. A video on each topic that they need help with. So if I'm a fitness guy, like maybe like 2 videos on nutrition, 2 videos on this, 2 videos on that, etc., etc. Very short and simple, and not overload them with a bunch of different things, right? This is automatically great because you know which things are automatically going to be able to see them result without being way too much. You want people to see results inside of your Skool community because that's how they're ultimately going to trust you. You have to have people take actionable steps to later on go ahead and trust you, because if I did what you told me to do and I didn't have to pay a dime and it worked, I trust you a lot more and your authority goes way up and I want to get on a call with you. Also, pricing, right? So pricing, I will put pricing high. I will charge $100 plus, right? A month plus, right? For my Skool community, right? I will charge a bag for it. I would even charge like $200, $300 per month for my Skool community. Yes, less people will join, but those people that join are actually way more motivated and desirable and invested if they spent that much money inside of their Skool community, right? It's important that you actually go ahead and do this because it's going to separate the broke leads from the qualified leads. So you're going to have to raise the hell out of your Skool community. And it's good that you raise the hell the hell out of it, because it's good that you do this, because at this point you don't really care about money, right? At this point you don't really care about money. So you could jack up the price of $500 per month, but you're only doing that to test people and see how committed they are to their goals. You're not doing it to get more money for yourself. You could care less if you only have 10 people, but out of those 10 people that join in that first month, 6 of them ascended, that's an extra 15K, 5K, 7K for you. Then you're not going to give a damn, right? So you don't really care about the money at this point. And it's not so oomph in your heart rather than it is right now. So you probably, right, where it's like, you kind of care about the money, right? You kind of want people to join in. You kind of want that extra stream of income as well, right? At this point, you don't care, right, at all. So realize that when you're getting to this 250K a month mark is way more easy for you to run a community. You're going to hire community managers. You're going to have the budget to do so. People that run your community and do the admin tasks, meaning they answer the questions, they post, they build the culture, they build the community, etc., etc. You could have a client success manager if you want to do the group coaching calls or answer questions in there, right? And you're not going to add no Q&As, right, in there, so it won't be confusing to people. Obviously, you make sure to edify Bob in it, right? Also, which courses are going to work. Which courses are going to work that's going to get people to see results, and you're going to make the courses short. So 10 to 30 videos, right? Even less, right? 10 to 30 videos or less inside of your community to make sure that people are seeing actionable results, but just enough to get them to transcend. So you kind of want people to pay $300 per month, but only want them to pay that $300, whatever it is, for only 1 month, because the value that you give is so short, snappy, and quick. They're still able to see results, right? And they don't think that they're wasting their money, because it's like, okay, I'm going to ascend to this higher ticket because I saw some results and now I'm willing to do so. And I only spend 1 month in that $300 per month community where I didn't even have to renew the next month, right? Even though Skool has trashy and crappy trackability and accountability systems, just by having these things in place, you can get people easily nurtured and get the masses. Now, since you're the top guy in your niche, right, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, you get people on YouTube, et cetera, and all that type of stuff. But since you're the top guy in your niche, you can really juice the heck out of your audience, because now you have maybe like 30K on Instagram, whatever it is. You have a lot more people. You're getting a little bit broader with your services, where a community is necessary. And a lot of bigger guys do this, and I'm going to prove to you that they do. So I'm going to go ahead and prove to you that once you end up becoming the top guy in your industry, that dropping a low ticket product or community is one of the best things that you can do, because it could filter out and juice out some of those leads that didn't push the needle with you because they see you as a top guy. Now, this is going to be very controversial, but this is my take on it, right? Listen to this very carefully. A lot of times people say like, okay, once you become big, people trust you a lot more because you have more followers, more results. And that's true, right? But that doesn't mean that people don't get more sophisticated into what you have to offer because you are that big of a level. Yes, people become more skeptical as well once you get bigger, right? Why? And we can see this when it comes to editing, right? Raw editing has become a thing lately, right? People like editors a lot better that don't edit so much, right? Because higher production equals more salesy, right? Et cetera, et cetera. And people sometimes tend to do this when you become big, when you have a lot of results, believe it or not, when you have a lot of clout, right? A lot of people following you, a lot of views, right? You seem very higher production type of dude, right? Because it seems like everybody trusts you, respect you. Yes, that can make some people still skeptical, right? Because you're so big, right? And because of that, this is what and this is my theory, I think a lot of bigger guys in the industry, the big guys, right? They're not talking about this because this is the next movement. This is like the secret of all sauces, right? It just makes sense that if people are becoming more skeptical with bigger productions, you don't think that people are becoming more skeptical once you become more bigger? Yes, you have more results, right? And it's more people trust you. Of course, 80% of the people trust you, but I still think there's a good percentage of people that become more skeptical of you the more bigger that you get, right? And this is why guys like Jeremy Miner, who's a sales coach and became one of the top guys in this industry, started dropping low ticket products, right? And he actually dropped a product that's only $27, right? He dropped what people will call a commoditized product, right? A product that people could just redo. And it kind of is a commoditized product, but he understands that some people might have lost respect for him simply because he got completely big. So dropping a product like this can get people to trust him a lot more and want to ascend to his higher ticket coaching, right? So this is why we see guys like Jeremy Miner go ahead and start to drop low ticket products like this one. If you could ask anyone that's doing the high ticket space, people that do what I do, they'll tell you that a low ticket product like this is completely commoditized. And it is, especially when you want to start off. You can get off the market like this. You can completely get wiped off the market if you drop a commoditized product just like this early on. Why? Because you're not even making enough money. You're not even a top guy in your industry, right? Et cetera, et cetera. And if you think this is going to be an extra source of income, it's going to confuse your people because you don't even have a lot of people inside your industry, inside of your business, and it's just going to ultimately confuse everyone, right? But when you're a big guy like Jeremy Miner, who's a top guy in this industry, he's able to drop a book like this and get people that lost respect for him because he got big, or the people that just saw him and think he's just another sales guru, because you automatically get labeled as a guru once you start hitting like a good amount of followers and become very respectable. You automatically become a guru. At first glance, if someone doesn't know you and sees your profile and you become the top guy in your industry, you're automatically labeled as a guru. But how can you take those limiting beliefs away? You drop either a low ticket community to show your worth and show your value, or you drop a low ticket product like this one, right? And on top of this, he's getting people to put in their email, right? On top of this, he's getting people to put their email, which is great, because he's able to send follow-ups, right, that upsells them on their higher ticket community. And he's able to send free YouTube videos that gets people more nurtured. On top of that, he made extra income off this $27 product, right? So he made extra income and built more trust, right, etc., through the leaky bucket, right? Because now, like I said, I'm going to repeat it again, people become way more sophisticated with you once you hit a certain level, right? And this is contrary to popular belief, and I truly believe this, and I'm going to say it again, right? Once you hit the top G level and you become the top guy in your industry, people are going to become way more sophisticated about your product. You automatically become a guru, literally, right? So yes, people might trust you more because you have more results, right? But people are going to become way more sophisticated. You're going to look like everybody else, right? And the best way you can do that is by dropping a low ticket product, giving people a little bit of a taste of what you have to offer for cheap, because automatically people are associating with you like, oh yeah, like his product's probably going to be like $4,000. So you're going to want to drop a low ticket product like this once you hit that $250,000 per month level, right? To get people to trust you a lot more, et cetera, because the free value is not enough. They don't trust you with that. They don't want to automatically want to ascend. So you're able to squeeze the audience that you have. And especially this time, it's important to squeeze out of that audience that you have, since you have such a big audience inside of the business. I hope that makes sense. So, and on top of that, he's getting their email. He's able to follow up. He's recommending them free YouTube videos through the emails, extra money. Also priced it. And this is good that he priced it, because usually people drop ebooks, and usually free ebooks. But usually people drop free ebooks in the beginning because they're trying to get lead magnets to get people to nurture, right? But if someone buys something for free, they most likely won't even read that free ebook. They want to read it for a little bit second. But when you're able to charge for an ebook, it makes people more invested to actually want to read it and ascend to your higher ticket and actually see value from it. And the main thing you want to do with the free ebook, with a paid ebook like this, is to get motivated people to come in, right? And then once you get those motivated people to come in, right, etc., and buy that ebook, you want them to see value from that ebook automatically, which is very, very, very important. You actually want that to happen. And he's also able to do this because he has such a big audience and he gets really good views that people are going to pay regardless. If you're someone that has 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers, you will barely make money off charging for an ebook, literally. So there are people dropping low ticket stuff, and there's other guys that are like him, like Andy Elliott, who has higher ticket programs, who are dropping Skool communities and has people running those. He can do that because he has such of a big audience, and it's a great way to juice people. So once you have 500,000 eyeballs on you, it's way better to drop a low ticket community or a low ticket product rather when you only have 30 to 20,000 eyeballs on you. And this is just proof to show you that dropping a low ticket product or low ticket community works when you're a big guy. And I told you exactly why it works. People will become more sophisticated with you because now you're considered a guru when you become the industry leader in your niche, right? And right, you have an audience now, a bunch of eyeballs on you that you can squeeze more juice out of with a lower ticket product, right? And you get to charge for your lower ticket product because you know people are going to buy because you have so many eyeballs on you. And since they're buying the low ticket product, pricing it is a smart move because it's going to get people to it's actually going to get more qualified people, right? Because they actually paid for it, and those are going to get emails too, and those emails are going to get sent to them, and people are going to follow up, and the people that open the emails, he's probably segmenting them to a different list that's going to send them more emails to try to get them ascended to their higher ticket programs. And now since he has emails, he's able to send free YouTube videos, right, etc., that's going to make them more trusted and buy his higher ticket. But it first starts off with this, and he's able to do that because he just has a bigger audience. So it's not about do I start a low ticket community or low ticket option. It's about when do I start it? And the best way to start it is when you hit this level of the top G and you're one of the best guys. You have more audience, etc. And on top of that, guys, it's just you have more money to hire people to do that nagging work for you. There's no point of starting a Skool community right now when you're making between 0 to 100K per month, right? Even 100 to 250K per month, because until you reach around 250K plus, because you don't have that much eyeballs on you, one, right? And two, you could just keep doubling down on the things that work, like doubling your ads, right? Testing more ads, etc. Scaling your ads, right? Doing exactly what works, right? Thinking of visionary movements that's going to move the needle to get you to that 250K per month. And then do this, right? So there's no point of adding that extra nurture sequence inside of your business because it just automatically doesn't make any sense. You have the hires, you have the community managers, you have the client success managers, right? You don't have to focus on it. It's something that you just create once, and you're also taking course modules from your higher ticket and putting them on there. Guys, it's completely easy to start a community when you have more money. And honestly, it's a very simple principle. Simple scales, complex fails, right? You do not want to make the journey to 0 to 250K per month completely complex. All you have to do is keep doubling down on what you're doing and make more and keep doing more of it. It's not that hard, but people make it harder than it seems. Business is very simple. It's completely simple. It's just very hard to do. It's simple when you think about it, but very hard to execute. So the execution is what you guys are failing at. Now, there's another way for you guys to go ahead and create a low ticket way for you to generate more leads and kind of funnel out some of the people that are already watching you, called low ticket workshops. But I don't have enough time for this video. This video will be more than an hour if I go ahead and continue doing this. So I want you to DM me the word low on Instagram. My Instagram is @JustinBuildsGrowth, right? I'm gonna have the link in the description, but it's @JustinBuildsGrowth. And I want you to DM me the word low, and I'll send you a training on what a low ticket workshop is. So if you're between the 5 to 50K per month mark, you can actually do low ticket workshops. And what a better way than a community to nurture your prospects that doesn't take a load of your, listen, low ticket workshop is probably one of the easiest things that you can do that's completely similar to a community for you to nurture people inside of your community, inside of your inner circle, and charge them higher ticket, right? So if you want to know what a low ticket workshop is, DM me the word low on Instagram @JustinBuildsGrowth, and I'll send you a free training on exactly what a low ticket workshop is and how you can structure one for your business. Only if you're making between 5 to 50K per month, it works effectively and it doesn't take none of your time, literally. Anything. It's not a two different fulfillment system. It's not none of that. Now, guys, this is the end of the video. I am sweating. Literally, you don't really see it, but I am sweating all over my body. It was a crazy long video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, drop a like. Share this video to your other business owner friends. Share this video to your team, whatever it is, and I hope this helps. Thank you and peace.